Members of the class of 2021, family, friends, welcome to the 23rd annual hooding ceremony of the University of Chicago Law School. And I emphasize that word welcome. It is the greeting that we extend when we gather together, and it is very good to greet many members of the class of 2021 and some family and friends in person today. While we're not yet at full capacity, and we're not able to gather everyone together, and while I extend an equally hearty welcome to those classmates and to those family and friends that are joining today's ceremony remotely, it is very good that we are able to gather together more members of the class of 2021 and their family members in one place than we have in the past 18 months. Class of 2021, we have missed you. Welcome. Every class that graduates from the law school is unique. Every class has its own mixture of personalities, its own contributions to our history, and its own memories. Even by this standard, the class of 2021 is unlike any other. Just as you reached the halfway point of your law school career, the JD students, just after we celebrated your midway dinner, an unexpected crisis emerged. A crisis in public health, and then the economy, rippled across our country and the globe and tested all of our institutions. The pandemic and the economic convulsions were accompanied soon by other crises. Disputes over the proper response to the public health crisis and the economic crisis. Rancorous political divisions, mass protests over policing and racial inequities, a tense election, a contested transition, the events of January 6th, the rollout of vaccine, and now the transition to a new post-pandemic way of life. For some of us, these events in the world affected us only modestly. For others, the impacts have been deeply personal and severe, ranging from financial turmoil to personal tragedy. For others of us, our ways of living and working changed significantly. Despite the challenges, the losses, the continuing uncertainties, and now the rain, you showed great confidence in your future. Here at the University of Chicago, learning for its own sake is wonderful. Learning can also occur for a purpose, the purpose of applying the knowledge gained in the future. And as a professional school, we celebrate learning to acquire knowledge and skills so that it may be deployed in the future. The person who learns for this purpose has decided that a valuable future lies ahead, and that future can be made better through the application of knowledge acquired today. It is an optimistic act to learn for this purpose. It is forward-looking. It shows belief in the value and usefulness of knowledge. It shows confidence in the future and in the ability of knowledge to improve our world and make our future brighter. It also shows faith in the power of the individual learner. Each individual learner acquires knowledge so that individual may later deploy it, and that individual may directly contribute to making the future brighter. This is what you, members of the class of 2021, did. During the depths of the pandemic and at the most trying moments of the past 18 months, when the uncertainties and the anxieties were the greatest, you undertook this act of optimism. You engaged in learning. In certain very visible ways, how you learned was different. Some of you were remote in Zoom. Some of you were in classroom, in a mask, socially distant, trying to get a hang of that mute-unmute thing. But in other ways, your learning was as it has always been at the University of Chicago Law School. You tackled the great cases and the great questions of law. You met a woman who was injured when a set of scales fell in a railway station after a package exploded. You met a driver of a car whose wheel collapsed and then tried to recover from a manufacturer with whom the driver had no contractual relationship. You met a buyer of chickens and pondered whether chickens are brewing hens or broiler chickens. You have learned a great deal of the law itself. You have learned a good deal of legal doctrine. And between now and the bar exam, July 27th and 28th in most states, you'll surely learn much more of the content of law. But much of your learning at the law school was not about specific points of legal doctrine. Rather, you learned how to think about legal problems. You learned how to interpret texts, how to engage in common law reasoning, how to balance competing risks, how to disentangle thorny legal problems, how to find solutions that would have benefits for all involved. You learn to approach legal questions with precise logic and a willingness to question assumptions, to examine questions from multiple perspectives. This analytical approach requires an openness to ideas and a commitment to subject those ideas to scrutiny. This dedication to, and even sometimes joy in, serious analytical reasoning has been the hallmark of a University of Chicago lawyer. And through your dedication, your hard work, through your act of optimism, you are now a University of Chicago lawyer. Congratulations. Your accomplishment is shared by your family, by your friends, by your loved ones. Sometimes your family and friends may have helped you in very tangible ways. Maybe they sent you mittens when the weather got cold. Maybe they sent you cookies when the deadline for the SRP approached. Maybe they let you move back in during the pandemic. They also helped you in intangible ways. They cheered you up when you thought you would never finish law school because you were frustrated by those falling scales, that broken automobile wheel, or those chickens. They gave you a rest when all the hard work of law school left you tired. In these tangible and intangible ways, they help you get here today. When they congratulate you this afternoon, don't forget to thank them. As we emerge from the pandemic, society is already asking, how will this generation, your generation, the generation who were students at the time of the pandemic, be different? Will the experience of the past 18 months permanently shape how you think about the world, the beliefs you hold, how you live your lives? This is a question that academics and analysts will surely research, discuss, and debate for years to come. Each of you will also ponder, discuss, and debate it yourselves. Now, knowing the class of 2021, and knowing your act of optimism during the past 12 months, I think we can already see two patterns emerging, and I will share them with you. In the spirit of the University of Chicago, you can discuss them tonight with your friends and family. Consider them my graduation gift to you, and you can determine whether these ideas are better than the swag that you'll pick up later. The first starts with the observation that learning at our law school is participatory. We still use the Socratic method, calling on students to reason out loud, to advance ideas orally, to explore them, probe them, understand their strengths and their shortcomings. Often, one of your classmates gave an answer during a cold call that was so great, you took notes on it. It helped you understand the case better. Or a classmate asked a question that was so insightful, you wished that you had thought of it. Your classmates have helped you learn, and you have helped them learn. In this way, serious analytical inquiry at our law school is not a solo enterprise. It's a collective undertaking. Participatory learning requires bringing students and faculty together to discuss and inquire as a joint endeavor. In our law school, this way of learning was perhaps taken for granted before the pandemic. The social practice that was perhaps most challenged during the pandemic was just simply bringing people together. And while Socratic teaching is best done in person, we did it with remote and hybrid technologies during this emergency time. As we emerge from this experience, we may have a greater appreciation for the importance of convening to think and reason together and make contributions that others will make to advance their learning too. I believe that a distinguishing feature of your generation, of the class of 2021, after the pandemic, will be a greater appreciation for the importance of gathering to discuss, to inquire, and to learn from each other. Your optimistic act of continuing your education during this challenging time shows that this is true. Your dedication to it is deeply in keeping with the mission of our university. And as you begin your professional lives, I believe that you will bring that value wherever you go. My second prediction is about institutions. Now, there are academics who spend their entire careers trying to define what is meant by the phrase or the word institution. It could be norms or practices, customs in society that aren't written down. And here I want to emphasize institutions in the sense of organizations, associations, entities in which individuals participate. Our society is full of institutions, corporations, not-for-profits, universities, institutions of government, and more. Our careers, your careers, are deeply entwined with institutions. Your first job upon graduation is likely to join an institution, a law firm, a court, a not-for-profit, a government agency. Your clients are likely to be institutions or individuals litigating against institutions. Your professional work may help create an institution or spin one institution out of another. In your career, you may become a leader of a private institution, or you may become an entrepreneur and found and establish a new institution. You may be elected or appointed to a public institution. Even your pro bono work in your civic service is likely to be through an organization or an institution. There is an emerging body of social scientific evidence, some of it done here by faculty at our university and our law school, that tells us that the quality of our institutions helps determine what kind of a society we have. Stronger and more effective institutions raise the standard of living, reduce poverty, protect human rights. You, the members of class of 2021, understand this directly. Over the past 18 months, you have seen our institutions tested. The pandemic, economic turmoil, demands for justice, political division, and more have tested whether our institutions can advance their goals and deliver what we expect of them. As you begin your career as a graduate of the University of Chicago Law School, you will begin to have responsibility for institutions. Your work will determine whether institutions meet our expectations, whether they help protect legal rights, advance justice, and improve the quality of life. The skills and knowledge you acquired here will help you tackle the large and thorny problems that institutions in our legal systems are meant to confront. And in so doing, you will follow in the footsteps of past graduates of this law school who also overcame unexpected challenges, but still strengthened our institutions and improved our law. Consider, for example, Earl Dickerson, the first Black JD graduate of this law school, the centennial of whose graduation we celebrated this year. Dickerson faced many obstacles in obtaining his education. Dickerson had to overcome the racism of his time. His graduation occurred nearly 35 years before the Supreme Court decision in Brown versus Board. But it occurred only 25 years after the Supreme Court's decision in Plessy versus Ferguson. But Dickerson also had to overcome an unexpected global crisis, World War I. Dickerson's education at the law school was interrupted by his service in that war. He went on to become, as I think many of you know, a leading civil rights lawyer and a leading businessman. Throughout his career, he participated in and led a wide variety of institutions, strengthening them and improving our legal system and society. During World War I, he was commissioned as second lieutenant in the Army, a very large institution. After graduating, he co-founded a law firm, another institution. At another point in his career, he was general counsel and then CEO of Supreme Liberty Life Insurance Company, another institution. He held leadership positions in numerous bar associations, as well as the NAACP and the Urban League. He was an alderman and a member of the Federal Fair Employment Practices Commission, public institutions. Dickerson's work was powerful and impactful through institutions and upon institutions. For you, the application of knowledge, the knowledge that you acquired here through your act of optimism, will most often be felt in our institutions. Our institutions need your diligence, your sharpness of mind, the thoroughness of your analysis, and the soundness of your judgment. I predict that they will be well served by you. The class of 2021 will be known as the class that attended the law school during an extraordinary time. You met difficult challenges, you responded with an act of optimism. This should be a source of pride for you, as it is for us. And it is an inspiration that whatever challenges lie ahead, you will meet them and you will thrive. On this day, as you graduate from our law school, you should feel a sense of accomplishment, have a reason to celebrate, and most of all, you should feel confidence in the future, both your own future and the future of our law and of our legal system. Today, we celebrate that accomplishment, and we look with confidence to our future. We are proud of you. Now, go out into the world and make us proud again. Congratulations. As I say, we are proud of you, and our faculty are incredibly proud of your accomplishments and excited for your futures. And this year, the law school asked members of the faculty who are also themselves graduates of this law school to congratulate you, the members of the class of 2021. They inundated us with well wishes, and we're pleased to be able to share these messages from an incredible group of faculty alumni with you today.
Class of 2021, it is an honor to address you on this important day as you enter the profession of law. Today is a day of great celebration. As with so much over the last year, this celebration has a different format than past years. But that format takes nothing away from today's importance or from our pride in what you've accomplished.
Indeed, earning your law degree in 2021 is a uniquely impressive achievement. So we bring you a unique set of graduation marks.
The 10 of us are faculty members who have had the privilege of teaching you at the law school. Over the past 3 years for our JD class, and in the past year for our LLM class, we have witnessed all you have learned and accomplished, despite unprecedented challenges and circumstances.
We are also proud alums of the University of Chicago Law School. As we have seen you grow during your time at the law school, we have remembered our own times as students. And as we celebrate today, we recall our own graduation days.
In our remarks, we will of course offer some thoughts as your professors, but we also offer some perspectives as those who came before you at the law school. I bring to you the perspective of the class of 2002.
Of the class of 2012.
Of the class of 2004.
Of the class of 2000.
Of the class of 2006.
The class of 1979.
Class of 1985.
Class of 1998.
Of the class of 2013.
Every class's experience at the law school is different in some way, and the world around us shapes that experience. There are, however, certain moments in history that stand larger than others.
Your years in law school will be remembered as a pivotal moment, not just in your lives, but in history. Your time here will be remembered as a time when the world went through drastic change and encountered extraordinary trials.
Your class has faced challenges and difficulties that few others could imagine. But with that, you have also accomplished great things that few others could imagine. And today we reflect on those accomplishments and on your time here more generally.
If you think back to your first weeks here, you will remember, as we do, the small challenges. Where to sit at the entering student's dinner, how to read your first case, fearing that first cold call, and wondering, what exactly is elements of the law?
We actually pack a lot into those first weeks, but then things really pick up. Indeed, even in normal times, the University of Chicago Law School is known for being rigorous and challenging. It forces you to think with sharpness and depth. Developing those skills is difficult, but no one comes to the University of Chicago to avoid challenge.
That is the experience in normal times. The challenges you have faced during your time at the law school have been far greater. Your law school accomplishments have been achieved in the most challenging learning environment we can remember. But the lawyers in the University of Chicago Law School class of 2021 certainly did not shy away from challenges.
The class of 21 will forever be known to have mastered not just a curriculum of law, but a curriculum of grit, resilience, perseverance, and change. Of course, no one planned for this curriculum, and no one would have voluntarily created it. We join you in grieving all the losses, big and small, of the recent past. But in times of hardship, we must remember to celebrate what is gained, just as we grieve what is lost.
And those gains cannot be underestimated. Now, every year, there are world events that affect life at the law school. And every class has its particular moment in history with world events that define that moment. For me, it was the post-9/11 intensifying of the war on terror during our time at the law school.
For me, it was the financial crisis and Great Recession.
For me, in 1984, it was the release of the Apple Macintosh and the world that would create.
For me, it was the impeachment of President Bill Clinton.
For me, it was the Arab Spring.
For me, it was standing in the Green Lounge during the first week of classes, watching with all my classmates as the verdict in the O.J. Simpson murder trial was read.
For me, it was the end of the Vietnam War and the aftermath of the Nixon administration and the Watergate scandal.
But this year is different. One difference is obvious. Your time at the law school was impacted not just by one or two significant events. It has been so much more. You are finishing law school and starting your legal careers in a world changed more than ever by a global pandemic that has affected everyone on the planet, domestic attacks on the rule of law, extraordinary social movements, extreme political polarization, and more. No one can doubt that we are living in a moment of great change.
But there is another difference. These events have not been in the background as they often are. These events have directly impacted your everyday law school experience. And that matters. You see, every year, the University of Chicago graduates great lawyers. Lawyers who are ready to handle everything the world can throw at them.
But this year, we are not just graduating lawyers who can handle everything the world throws at them. We are graduating lawyers who already have. To be sure, you did all of the traditional work to become a University of Chicago lawyer. While our classes shifted to remote and hybrid formats over the last year, substance remained the same. No rigor was sacrificed. You continued your quest for knowledge in your classes. You continued to ask tough questions. You continued to represent your clients in the clinics, to publish journals, to do pro bono work.
And then, on top of all that, you challenged current events. You volunteered in elections. You advocated. You marched. You protested. And through all of this, you supported each other. You rallied around your family members, friends, and classmates who needed you in times of crisis. You demonstrated empathy and compassion, and learned to adapt, to keep things in perspective, and most of all, to persevere.
You have experienced so much, and you've accomplished so much. And as a result, you are entering your legal careers light years ahead in terms of life experiences and accomplishments.
You're ready for what is next, not just because you are now a University of Chicago lawyer, but because your experiences in law school have shaped you in unique and important ways.
That being said, not all is different this year. Certain traditions persist. So many of the great values and experiences of this institution hold true for every class, regardless of its moment. And even in times of change, we celebrate those traditions. Looking back with years or decades of perspective, we can attest to a few constants. Questioning the way we think about the world and elements.
The value of the university's emphasis on free and civil discourse with those you might not always agree with.
Our commitment to rigorous thinking and intellectual engagement.
The experience of being cold called during the first week of law school. Late night debates with friends about our class readings. And breakfast at Medici or Salonica.
For me, it's the belief in the virtues of a fierce and vigorous pursuit of knowledge and education.
For me, it's the ability to critically examine existing law, precedent, and institutions, and to identify ways to challenge or change them.
Being capable of arguing both sides of any issue.
Being a Chicago lawyer is something truly special. 3 years here completely transformed the way I thought and approached the world. I saw the other side. I learned to argue, not just to assert and to posture. But Chicago lawyers are the most tough-minded and passionate people that I know.
The idea that we Chicagoans are trained to tackle the tough problems that perhaps others might shy away from. And as lawyers, we are resolute in the pursuit of justice. Now, it is your turn to reflect on your time at the law school. You're graduating from an institution with a long and esteemed history. Your unique experience is now part of that history, part of our tradition. For us, your accomplishments in your time here are a source of great pride.
We are proud to have taught you, proud to have learned from you.
We are proud and we are inspired by your efforts and accomplishments.
With your leadership, we are confident that this moment in history will be remembered not just as a moment of change, but also as a moment of unique hope and as the beginning of something great. Today, we celebrate that hope. Today, we celebrate you.
But we cannot forget to also celebrate those who supported you, to celebrate the importance, this year more than ever, of family, friends, and community. So we also celebrate and thank the family members and the friends of the class of 2021. The family and friends whom we've occasionally seen over Zoom trying to stay quiet or trying to avoid the camera's view.
We have heard so much about you from the members of the class of 2021, and we know that you've supported them in so many important ways. Thank you, family and friends of the class of 2021. Graduates, please remember to tell your family and friends how much you appreciate them today, too. Treasure their support.
And also treasure the support you have given each other. The friendships you have made here are the foundations of lifelong bonds. You will soon scatter across the country and across the world, and your careers and lives will take you in different directions. But you will always be members of the class of 2021. Remember and cultivate the friendships and relationships that started at the law school, in the classrooms, in the Green Lounge, in the halls, and yes, even in the Zoom breakout rooms.
Today, we celebrate the broader alumni community that you now enter. The 10 of us are proud to be among that community and to be the first to welcome you into it.
You are joining an esteemed community of the University of Chicago Law School alums. We look forward to hearing updates on your careers and your lives, and we look forward to seeing you back at the law school for reunions and other law school events, perhaps on the faculty with us someday.
Finally, one tradition of our law school is that our graduates go out into the world and accomplish great things. And now it is your turn. Members of the class of 2021, you're well on your way to changing the world. A world that now more than ever needs you. Needs you to be zealous advocates for your clients, to work for justice, to right wrongs, and to make the world a better place. After watching everything you've accomplished in your time at the law school, we know you are ready to do just that. And we can't wait to see the great things that you accomplish.
We all wish you the best as you go off on this journey. And we can't wait to see where it takes you. Congratulations
To the class of 2021.
Thank you to our faculty alumni. We will now proceed with the main event, the conferral of diplomas and the hooding of graduates.
Dean Miles, it is my honor to present these students who have completed the program of studies prescribed by the faculty of the law school. They have been awarded the degree of Master of Laws by the Board of Trustees.
I congratulate these graduates on the successful completion of a program of advanced study in the law school, culminating in the degree of Master of Laws.
Will the graduates please come forward to receive your diploma and then your academic hood as I call your name. Javiera Aviles. Kobe Barkan. Silvia Bonomelli. Yating Chiang. Roman Cincelli. Alessio De Alessandro. Ine G. De Blade. Esserhan Esser. Kota Fuji. Dario Galli. Nanan Gao. Oyetade Zuliaf Bajumo. Lucas Griebler Damota. Divya Hirawat. Ming Ying Shu. Sten An Jup Hulshink. Ningwei Jiang. Jakob M. Jurgensen. Moon Yin Ingrid Lau. Dario Panza. Malvika Parthasarati. Ji Wen Peng. Enrique Drummond Carvalho Rojas. Yasunao Shibata. Fernanda Vilela Viana. Min Shi Zhao. Congratulations to the LLM class of 2021. Dean Miles, it is my honor to present the students who have completed the program of studies prescribed by the faculty of the law school. These students have been awarded the degree of Master of Legal Studies by the Board of Trustees.
I congratulate the graduates on the successful completion of a program of study in the law school, culminating in the degree Master of Legal Studies.
Will the graduate please come forward to receive your diploma and then your academic hood as I call your name? Daniel Aaron Epstein. Kong Zhang. Congratulations to the MLS class of 2021. Dean Miles, the student I now present has attained scholarly distinction in advanced studies and has prepared a dissertation which contributes to knowledge in a particular field of research. On behalf of the faculty of the law school, I have the honor to present the recipient of the degree of Doctor of Jurisprudence as conferred by the Board of Trustees.
I congratulate the graduate on the successful completion of a program of advanced study in the law school, culminating in the degree of Doctor of Jurisprudence.
We will now present the graduates of the JSD class of 2021. Graduate, please prepare your hood so that you may be hooded when your name is called. Adi Grinapple. Congratulations to the JSD class of 2021.
Dean Miles, it is my honor to present these students who have fulfilled all of the requirements prescribed by the faculty of the law school to qualify them for the profession of law. They have been awarded the degree of Doctor of Law by the Board of Trustees.
I congratulate these graduates on the successful completion of a program of study in the law school, culminating in the degree Doctor of Law.
Will the graduates please come forward to receive your diploma and then your academic hood as I call your name? Daniel H.B. Abrams. Ambreen Ahmad. William B. Altabef. Ethan H. Ames. Megan A. Anderson. Alexandra Caitlin Aparicio. Kristen T. Arabachi. Stephen Michael Ark. Joshua Jim William Armstrong. Morgan Arthur. Evelyn Cecilia Ahie. Niloy A. Azad. Caleb Daniel Bakos. Jan Ulis Bays. Natalie Bearcat. Thomas Moore Barrett. Michael Edward Belko. Thomas A. Benson. Haley N. Bernal. Patrick Burning O'Neill. Allison E. Bitts. Joseph Samuel Bonafede. Paul Samuel Boswell. Samuel James Hovland Bresky. Ethan D. Briggs. Daly Charles Salavara Brower. Jeremy Lee Brown. Rachel Amy Alicia Brown. John C. Bugnacki. Maya Michelle Bulkley Crane. Andrew G. Burchett. Stephen Carpinello. Sarah Margaret Castilla. Victor Miguel Cedeno. Donna Chen. Julia T. Chow. Tai Chen. Dane Antone Christensen. Divine S. Collins. Elizabeth Sarah Conrad. Benjamin Philip Constein. Caroline Lynn Cordell. Paula Valentina Correa. Zachary S. Cracknell. Curtis Cronican. Mark Willikis Cronin. Christy Bale Kraus. Kyle Curry. Brenna Darling. Gabe A. Davis. Periel Marilyn Lacey Davis. Simon De Carvalho. Megan Sue Delury. Robert Ames D'Annunzio. William Justice Donnelly. Tyler David Downing. Reagan Francis Drake. Kenton Prescott Elliott. Tatum Ellis. Matthew C. Estes. Ugana Eza. Benjamin Harry Feiss. Brian P. Farrell. Michael J. Fyodorovich. David C. Finkel. Claire E. Fogarty. Stephen M. Foster, Jr. Sean M. Frazetti. Max Montag Friedman. Kristen Rogers Gagalis. Elizabeth Ann Gall. James Xingyu Gao. Miriam R. George. Ellen R. Goff. Lenore Gold. Rebecca Ann Gonzalez Rivas. Eric Jonathan Greenberg. Anthony R. Gutman. Sakina Juzer Haji. Nima Hakim. Jacob Matthew Franklin Hamburger. Maxwell Christian Hansen. Kate Harris. Tanner L. Harris. Adam Hassanin. Zachary Dean Heater. Nicole Lauren Heller. Laura Veronica Herrera Sarabia. Holly M. Heifel. Victor Henry Hollenberg. Megan Grace Holloway. Hunter Hovenga. Benjamin P. Hubney. Nail Ahmad Hussein. Casey Lynn Morrison Jadley. Daniel Nicholas Jellens. Anne Jang. Samuel Stephen Kane. Catherine Elizabeth Carnosh. Chelsea C. Kerr. Sean Robert Kemp. Kyle Benjamin Kent. Serena Anastasia Kernberg. Brittany Grace Kidwell. Jenny Hejin Kim. Max Jordan Kober. Aryan Joseph Kuchis Fahani. Alexandra M. Koskov. Bridget P. Larkin. John Carey Larkin. Kathleen Dewhurst Larkin. Rachel Claire Leibowitz. Brenna Mary Ledvora. Claire Grace Lee. Jessica Betty Lee. Kenneth Daniel Lee. Daniel Nathan Levinson. Susan Lee. Maxwell Y. Liao. Naftali Melissa Libran Ukiri. Tyler Blake Lindley. Kaylin Liu. Elio Gerardo Levy Belloso. Braden E. Lord. Colin Gabriel Losi. Joseph Ludmir. Anna Carolina Lucerna. Deborah Malamud. Michaela Marie Mapes. Andrew Colin Maxfield. Jared I. Mayer. Brendan Timothy McCartney. Alexander Casimir McDonald. Jacob A. McGee. Constance Lachlan McKinnon. Marina Renee Mertens. Alexander Matthias Meyer. James Curtis Michael. Barrett Joseph Mills. Kaylin A. Moriarty Miltko. Desiree Dawn Mitchell. Kevin P. Mohabir. Kenneth Dongel Mock. Nathan M. Molina. Zachary David Montgomery. Nilesh Tejas Murthy. Isabella Inoa Morera. Brennan L. Nelson. Pauline Anti Nguyen. Christine Ann O'Connell. Aiden D. Orsino. Michael R. Ortega. Francis Edward Pascal II. Serena M. Patel. Veronica Hope Patterson. Tyree Marcus Petty Williams. Jessica Elizabeth Ferris. Tyler Hill Pickens. Marie J. Plecha. Brian Springer Pollock. Madeline Cordorin Preble. Christian Craig Price. Olivia Probitz. Nikhil Pruthi. Hayden Robert Puttrey. Michael S. Quigley. Lillian B. Ramser. Matthew David Reed. Angela Nicole Riley. Nicholas Edward Richards. Rebecca E. Roman. Catherine J. Ross. Kaylee A. Ruiz. Angelica F. Russell Johnson. Gianna Santoro. Annie K. Schoenfeld. Lauren Marie Sexton. William Edward Sheary. David Ezra Silberthaw. Daniel Evan Simon. Camille Marlis Sipple. Jocelyn A. Sitton. Gabriel W. Slater. Jason Robert Smith. Garrett G. Solberg. Emma Elizabeth Sperry. Bonnie K. St. Charles. Catherine Elizabeth McGowan Stubing. Hannah A. Stoddard. William James Strench. Grant Donald Strobel. Yiming Sun. Justin Alexander Telesnik. Spencer Rudolph Tauchin. Charles David Taylor. Alexandra E. Timakova. Harsha Vardana Talapa. Jessica Nicole Trafimo. Salvatore Ronaldo Trinchetto. Nathan Thompson Chepik. Kelsey H. Tui. Ikenna Nwakanma Ubwaja. Riley William Walters. Devin Weinberg. Monica Rose Weissman. Alyssa Wu. Chi Xia. Melanie B. Yeames. Erica Zhao. Julian Li Ying Zhu. Anahita Zi. Congratulations to the JD class of 2021.
And so this concludes our 23rd annual Diploma and Hooding Ceremony for the class of 2021. Please join me in congratulating the graduates. Thank you all for coming today.